Hi, my name is Rosalie Menduni. I'm an occupational therapist and founder and owner of East Norwich Therapeutic Services, a family-based practice on Long Island in New York. I'm here today to share information about parenting. With my master's degree in occupational therapy, specializing in pediatrics, and my early childhood education, I felt like I had a pretty good idea about parenting and a lot of advice to give parents for the first 9 years of my practice. It wasn't until I had my own child that I realized that I had a lot more questions and a lot less answers. We're given these beautiful beings, entrusted to us, and, we're supposed to know how to do this. And they don't come with any handbook or, instruction manual. So, of course, there's a lot of literature out there, but a lot of the advice is very controversial. So out of this deep desire to be the perfect parent came this heal thy child, heal thyself model that I've come up with. And it's really about coming into looking at ourselves, our own inner child, and learning how to reparent ourselves as we parent our children. It's a constantly changing model. And as I grow and change, my children are now 19 and 15 years old, the model consistently changes and evolves. I've had the honor to witness working with these tools and how it's helped other families to grow closer, to live more joyfully, and to make deeper connections with each other. We're not only passed down green eyes and brown hair through our generations, but we're also passed down oftentimes generational pain, different ways of coping, and so these things can be healed. And that's the biggest gift I believe that we can give our children, is to work on healing that within ourselves and to pass that along to the next generations. And these are some simple tools that can help you to do that through the basics model. So let's travel through and just talk about each one a little bit. Starting with B. B is for the breath. And there's so much research, and everybody knows how important the breath is. So when you're taking nice, slow, deep breaths, I tell the children that I teach, breathing into your belly like it was a balloon and expand it out. And then exhaling, contracting the belly. And just bringing that level of calm helps change your brain, helps you become in a more calm state. So you go from that part of the brain that's in fight and flight and freeze, the sympathetic nervous system when you're stressed, to the parasympathetic nervous system that really allows you to problem solve and have thoughtful solutions to problems. And the breath, just taking a breath, can help you to do that. And what a gift for us to be able to teach our children that they can have some control over their emotional and energetic states, just by a simple breath. There's a lot of breaths available out there. Yoga has a lot of different breaths. There's the alternating nostril breath, which is very good for balancing. The deep belly and heart breath, and that's really helps us to become, more grounded into the earth and feel more comfortable. The breath also helps us to increase our attention and our focus. So when you exhale more deeply, you're increasing the ability to be calm. And for the really little children, I will often teach them about blowing toys, like blowing a windmill or blowing bubbles, and just getting them to do that exhale helps them to relax their body. So that's it for the breath. There's a lot more that you can read about on the breath, but just remember, breathe deeply. The next one is A, activity. You're going to try to focus on choosing activities that help to really nourish and nurture you and your child. Everyone knows the importance of exercise and how much exercise improves your brain activity and your cognition. So you want to keep kids active, but not too active. You want to have a balance, really a balance. You want to be able to do things that are fun, things that they enjoy, swinging forward and back helps calm the system. Heavy exercise also helps organize children. You'll do things that they like karate, maybe swim, biking, taking a walk in nature, balancing what they need and what you need to feel comfortable and to balance out your day. So you're going to work on the activities. Other activities could include artwork, drawing, playing with clay, and time in every day, having time to just be, not doing anything. Maybe just spend a few minutes just looking at each other's eyes, watching sand art, or just being. Let's just lay here for 1 minute and just be. So, next we come on to S. S is for safety. We really want to create a safe, loving environment for our children, to make loving safe. And the way that we do that is to really communicate effectively, to express feelings, to let them be safe, to let people let you know how they feel, and create space for that in the environment. With the safety, you want to encourage and empower your child so that they feel that that their feelings are valid, that they have a place that is safe for them to be who they are. You really want to empower and encourage them, to do that. One of the things in many of the schools that I've worked in, they have time out when there's conflicts. And I've often tried to work with parents and teachers to try to educate them in more of the time in. And when there's a conflict, to really work on connecting and problem solving together. And sometimes you do need a little space to do that, but when you do the breath and you calm yourself, you have more of an opportunity to really connect and to problem solve together. So I call it like time in, creating like a safe space, maybe a peace corner, from Linda Lantieri's book, I believe, came up with that term, or just a safe place in your house, sometimes a little tent, or a place for them to go when they feel like they're getting stressed, to be able to bring themselves back to a calm place. And then we model that as parents when we get upset, so that they can see we're going to get upset, and there's appropriate ways to handle that, safe ways where nobody gets hurt, and you can express your emotion through maybe ripping a piece of paper in your anger, or hitting a pillow, or screaming into a pillow, but it's safe. I is for inner dialogue, and also inner, just like anything that your child takes into their body, just being really mindful of what's going in. What they're seeing, what they're hearing, what they're watching. Even TV shows, some of the things that are on TV, some of the movies. You want to just be mindful of what's coming in to that child. What's coming in as far as diet. Just trying to make as healthy meals as you can. Good healthy foods, protein, keeping the sugars and the, other foods that aren't as healthy for them really limited in their diet. And help your child to learn to listen to the inner dialogue that's going on in their own minds. And the way to do this is to really notice your own inner dialogue. Those are the voices that we sometimes hear in our head. It could be, I know for me, critical voices, not doing this right, or, just noticing them and then imagining, what would sound better instead? How can I shift that voice to be more life-affirming, life-giving, and less critical? I was working with a little girl recently and helping her to tune in, and she was doing a project or something and made a mistake, and I said, what are you thinking right now? I could see her getting upset, and she said, I'm thinking I'm so stupid, and I'm so upset. I'm such a bad person, something like that. And I was like, wow, just noticing how harsh that sounds, and maybe let's try to see if we can shift that voice a little bit. So the next one is compassion. We're always going to start with great compassion for ourselves and for our children. This takes a lot of commitment and courage, perseverance, and just time, and being flexible. When you have the compassion, you want to really celebrate all the successes that you have. And when you do have, a bump in the road, or you make a mistake, which we all will, when we have a conflict or a problem of any sort, taking the opportunity to just use that as an opportunity for growth. Another way to work with this compassion is to really join with other like-minded parents so you can help support each other along the journey. Really help each other, share stories and share encouragement, along the way. And be patient, keep your realistic goals, keep them simple, and be very flexible as you're going along. Just really bringing compassion to every moment, always wondering, how can I bring compassion to this moment for myself, for my child? And finally, we come to self-love. The final S is for self-love. And really starting with, going right along with compassion, is really loving yourself and what that looks like. Self-care. How do you take care of yourself? Physically, emotionally, spiritually. What things can you do during the day that help yourself feel grounded and safe? We can reparent ourselves. We can listen to those, inner children within ourselves. Listen to what we need and work with that. Knowing when we're triggered by our child, if they're doing something or we're getting upset, kind of try stepping back for a moment and thinking about what's going on in my body right now. What am I thinking about? And how can I bring myself to a peaceful place and take care of myself? Sometimes it'll mean leaving a playground or leaving a party that's too much. Sometimes it'll just be saying no to certain things, setting boundaries and limits, but really just taking care of yourself. It's so important, and we're really teaching our children to be able to do the same thing as we do that. We're modeling that for them and how important that is. You also want to really slow down. Have yourself slow down and model for them to notice the sensations. Notice what they're seeing, what they're hearing, their smell, taste, slowing down the moments, and noticing what's going on in their bodies. There are adults that come in and I've asked them, how do you feel in your body right now? Are you sensing anything? And they're completely, disconnected with their bodies. They don't have any idea of really what's going on. So it's really about modeling, teaching, learning, and then teaching how to notice. Do we have areas of tightness in our body? Where do we carry stress in our bodies? How can we release that stress? And just getting our children to start noticing their bodies in space and the different sensations that they can feel, really tuning in. So this is just really a simple program to help parents. And if you don't take away anything else from this program, 2 things, basic takeaways would be the breath, always breathe, and self-love. So those are the two main takeaways that you can't go wrong with. And to me, what greater gift can we give our children but to really heal ourselves and to take care of ourselves and to help ourselves grow. And through that love and compassion that we have for ourselves, we can really give that to our children and help them to grow and pass that on to the next generations. So have fun, enjoy the journey, and continue on with the great works of parenting.